Guys, we are back for another defensive film study. We're going to be looking at the Arkansas tape. Of course, you saw the score. Didn't go well. And we've had some struggles with the defense, and those continued. But before we talk about all of that film study, I want to see you over in Inside Texas. $1 for your first week. Come hang out. Great community. Even better writing, analysis, team news, recruiting, all of that jazz. And this was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Let's get to the tape. First up, we got first quarter, 2nd and 7, 10-17 on the clock. Ball is on Texas 41. We're going to have a keeper from Green. You see this tight end. He's going to fake like he's going to block out, but then he just keeps on trucking. And you're going to see us give up too many yards here. All right, so here's the point of the give. You're going to see Burke crashes down too far on this, and then this tight end leaking out is going to take Trey Moore out of the picture, and they're going to leave that beautiful green grass we're always talking about. And, of course, Taylon Green, fast player. So, boom, missed tackle right here as well, not great. And then he picks up several more. So I believe this was Jet's play. So, Jet, let me know what you want to see, and let me know when you want to go end zone, brother.
Yeah, so I'm sure, like, from a fan's perspective, they're like, A&M has Marcel Reed, and God, what if he does this? And I promise you this play is going to be ran, and he's going to keep it. And I think Burke – actually, I guarantee you Burke is going to play this. Ethan Burke, 91 on the edge, is going to play this differently. He ends up taking the running back pretty hard here. I wouldn't be surprised if they communicated either pre-snap or throughout the week that he was just going to go ahead and take the running back on this type of look. Well, then this leads me to the next problem, which we should have Trey Moore. That if Burke takes the running back, that means the other guy is going to take the quarterback. So he should be sitting over the middle here, right where he runs. So that should at least slow him down for help to arrive, or he should make the tackle at the end of the day. And then you have a completely separate play like happening here at the top. But you can see we have 3-over-3 for that. They got two blockers. We got the nickel cornerback. We got Taff over the top to match 88 coming downhill. So, I mean, great play design by them. We didn't play it right as a defense. But you can still guarantee to see if they're going to check us on it to see if we can fit this right in the A&M Texas game. So definitely be looking out for this one.
Drew, thoughts?
Frustrating thing for me is regardless of – we should have known this was coming regardless. The fact that we came into this game lined up in no zone read is an option on every single – anytime they're in that alignment, it's an absolute option. And we didn't have a plan for it. We didn't have a plan for it. So, yes, we should play it different because there should be a plan for it going into A&M. So this is, you can't go into games without a plan for what you know you're going to get, point blank, period. So, that's the main thing that jumps out to me on this is everyone in the world knew we were getting zone read at any time, at any point they're in this formation. And you have to have everything properly leveraged no matter what. And we seem to go into games sometimes with the risk of, hey, we might not have it properly leveraged or play it appropriately. So, I'm with Jet. We'll clean it up, but I hated seeing it live.
And then I don't know what's going on, but Taft the past couple of games has had it rough. That's Taft, right? 16? Yeah. He's had it rough, man. Like, since he came back from the thumb thing, he's been missing tackles and just, like, getting trucked is one thing, man. Like, if you're a football player, you're going to get trucked eventually on defense. It just happens. But some of this stuff has been worrisome the past couple of weeks with him as well. So what breaks this play truly? Is it because generally what you would see, the look that they're playing off of is that the tight end would come like it's split zone and he would act like he's going to block. But instead he can just continues out on a route, and that's what opens up all this space. So how do you stop that in the future if A&M does send a tight end on that kind of fake block flat?
You want to? I can get this. So yeah, like I said, Burke was play this differently. He can play it two different ways differently. He can play this as a Q charge, which means he's going to act like he's taking the running back, and then last second he'll go and he'll take the quarterback. Or you can just surf here, and you can play both gaps. You can play the edge and you can play the quarterback, just like you've done 100 times an individual drill where you've played surf to the dive or you played surf to the quarterback. And then on top of that, you have an extra support there with number 8 over the top. He should not be essentially taking that. He could be expanding maybe a little bit with it, but he doesn't need to turn and run at all right there. I mean, he should know where his leverage is. And at the end of the day, he needs to know what his job is, which is if Berg takes the edge, I got quarterback, and it's essentially a switch deal right there. So just the schematics, brain fart, misassignment at the end of the day that, needs to be corrected.
Next up, we have a perimeter run, something we've been preaching on in the Church of Defensive Film Study all season. This is the second quarter, 2nd and 5, 11:53 on the clock. Ball's on Arkansas's 30, as you can see. It's a perimeter run. What we're going to get is this receiver is going to motion out here, and then we're going to end up in 2-on-2. So we have that blocked, and then you'll see how they're able to get the edge from our wonderful analysts. So we get 2-on-2 out here. So they have the numbers to the bottom of your screen here with Taff and Manny Muhammad. And then they're going to do the handoff. He presses inside, like good job on the back, and then gets everyone to kind of hang out and freeze and pause. And then he's able to bounce outside at the last second. They have the numbers advantage. And at the end of it, they are able to finish and get a good gain. What the hell happened here, Drew?
I mean, you just got to be in sync. You got your DN, you got 40. He goes into the B gap. Like it's no hesitation. So that just tells me that's what his responsibility is on this play. If someone is going to the B gap, your immediate and most, the linebacker, that you have leverage. There's no doubt whatsoever. Now, unless 40 was not supposed to go inside, that's a whole other thing. But he does it so deliberately. I have to assume that the linebacker is supposed to scrape there and have outside leverage, but they just get stacked on top of each other. And linebackers and running backs, as much as people say they mirror each other and have the same skill sets, the reason why running backs are running backs is because when you get in this position where one is on 2 yards on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage and the other 2 yards on the opposite side right now. And so that's why gap integrity is critical. Because he just bounces it outside and we have nothing there. And so a lot of what our defense does do, the situations that it puts us in is we put guys, if they are appropriate, even when they're appropriately leveraged, they're still in one-on-ones. So you cannot be inappropriately leveraged or out-leveraged and expect to win. If you're in the right position here, as a linebacker, this play gets stopped. You still have that one-on-one on the edge, but the play gets stopped. And you talk about coverage busts going into this season or just over the last few games. There's been busts like this too, just in absolute, like just fitting the run. And so people don't call it busts all the time, but this is a bust. Somebody's not in the right gap, and we can't have this.
Yeah, you have Trey Moore and LaFau essentially manning the same gap at the end of it, when really you need to scrape outside. But for whatever reason, LaFau hesitates significantly here. Jet, do you want to look at the end zone copy?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you're going to see Lance is going to come into the B gap. At that point, the linebacker needs to scrape over, and we don't see that.
Yeah, it's not complicated. I mean, this is pretty much as basic as a run as you can get. You can see is that Trey. He's going to be butting and pressing. He's going to be taking that opposite A gap, and then we're in a 3-man down front. So he's gonna 4-man front. So that B gap's open. They're going to blood him, which means the weak side linebacker should immediately fall outside and be the edge right there. I know 18. I know he knows it. I don't know. He's usually like a very with it player. I'm very surprised that he's not triggering a lot faster here, especially when he knows he has that inside move. At the end of the day, I expect him to make this play, and you should be crashing downhill. Especially when you got a soft edge right there, you should be looking to deliver a message, and he shouldn't be able to see you coming behind that double team. And that guy, the D lineman's doing his job, so you got to go do yours. At the end of the day, he's taking 2, which means you're free as a linebacker. Go make the play. Yeah,
don't block yourself, man.
Yeah, don't block yourself. Cloudy clear is what my old high school linebacker coach used to say. Cloudy clear. I mean, that's basically one of the first things you learn right there.
Yeah, that's what's been so disappointing with the defense, man, is like a lot of these players you saw play last year, so that they could do it right. And then even earlier in the year, not on perimeter runs, but earlier in the year they were more decisive, and they've gotten more like tentative and slow as the years progressed, and it's kind of strange.
Unfortunately, I kind of agree. But it's what it is.
It is what it is. Beat A&M and get to the offseason. Next play. Now we have second quarter, y'all. 2nd and 10, 11-18 on the clock. Ball is on Arkansas's 37. You're going to see a very easy slant by the number 2 receiver here. He's just going to come up, and Taylon Green is going to hit him. And once again, middle of the field, big problem with the Texas defense. They're also going to fire Trey Moore here, so anyone who theoretically could have made this more cloudy will remove themselves from the picture, as we'll see. Very simple college football play. And Jelani McDonald gets squared up. 6 puts a move on him. Taylon Green is only reading that guy. And boom, right over the middle. Easy stuff. All right, whose was this? This was Drew's. What are you thinking first, Drew?
I don't know. I'm thinking frustration just because, I mean, first of all, alignment and assignment. They're in an empty formation. You have Jelani McDonald while he's over the number 2 receiver. I don't know if he's outside leverage, but he seems like he's right on top. And that's just, you have to discourage the route in a way. You have to discourage it where you do not have leverage. So when you look at 17 over the middle of the field, if you go back a little bit.
I was just trying to see Jelani's leverage.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He's a little bit outside, but not much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's outside. But go back to the end zone since you were there. 17s. Look at what he does immediately. He turns his back. He turns his back to the boundary. You know you have 2 receivers over to that backside as a quarterback. The field is wide open. So either somebody knows, like you either know you don't have help on the inside, and you need to make sure you're at least leveraged in a way to where you just don't give that up. But it's that kind of stuff, because what we're in, we're not even in man. We're in a 3-under-3 deep on this. And I don't know if this is where I've talked about, I don't want to see us this week in this game against A&M. I don't want scheme to be the reason we're winning or losing games. Like, we have to be in position to make plays. Jelani, I realize why he's not in the right leverage, because his assignment has him on top of the numbers. And just when you're moving to spots and not playing the receiver, you're not playing the routes, you're not playing disguises in the way that actually puts you in a position to win, you give up plays like this. You have 17 run into the middle of the field to play the deep third. I mean,
he's lost out there, boys.
So this is the kind of stuff where you just have to have a clean game plan. I don't care. I don't care if they come out empty. You have one thing called. If you have one check where everybody knows what to do and they can do it with some conviction, they can do it quickly, they can do it fast, and they know exactly what their assignment is. Give me that over having just out leveraged, like you're playing a guessing game. So your only upside is that you just risk they're going to be confused and miss this throw. But outside of that, your players are just out of position. So I don't know, man. It's frustrating to watch this because it doesn't. I don't know how it serves us. We can run the same formation, the same defense against this formation, empty set. And I don't know what we do differently if this is the way it's being coached or if this is the way we're playing it. So definitely something we have to have some clarity on going into this week.
Yeah, what's he playing, like a rat technique, like expecting the shallow there and he'll come grab it, but there's no man. And then whenever he gets deep, it's almost like he's looking for number 2 to in break later on, like who becomes the new number 3. So I don't know, Jet, what do you think?
Is there somebody in the post right now? There is, right?
I think so.
Number 2 up to the field.
Exactly, which is like
he's playing NFL depth in the post.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this is how I think about it, is like, I get the whole open up immediately to the field because that's where the 3 receivers are and that's what you're taught to do. On any level of football, you're always going to open to where there's more receivers unless you game plan around their number 1 and you're told to open toward the best receiver or something like that. So they obviously know that, Arkansas. So they see him, he bails immediately. He goes to the 3 receiver side. And the only thing I can pick on, because schematically, I guess everybody's doing their job, which is not, I mean, Jelani could be doing it better, I guess you could argue, you know what I mean? But if I'm Jelani, and if I'm whoever is not that guy, not right next to 17, not him, whoever, is that Taff? I believe so.
Yeah, because Williams is the high safety.
No way. Exactly. So this has happened in practice. I guarantee it. They've already got beat splitting these between whoever's number 3 and number 2. There's no way this hasn't happened. That number 3, he's going to leave immediately. And my only question is, Taft needs to know that if he's going to be bailing super fast over the top to number 3 like that, you've got to pack backside real quick, because they're about to open up that window between 3 and 2. So there's play design is to essentially make that gap, which you see between Taft and Jelani McDonald. And Johnny needs to know that that's where the weakness is. And if anything, you guys are talking pre-snap like, hey, as soon as 3 goes away, they're looking this way. Here comes 2 backside. Like, this is a well-known, coverage beater, I guess you could say. And it happens a lot of time in our coverage when we're on defense, when they make everybody go out and they hit the tailback with the will linebacker on a Texas in between the Mike and the will. And it's essentially the same thing going on in here. Is like you're just opening the window between who's covering number 3 and who's covering 2 backside, and then you hit them right in the middle on an inside route. And so it's just like, as somebody who's guarding number 2 and somebody who's guarding number 3, you just got to be aware that that's where the weakness of this defense is. And credit to the play caller on this one. It's a good design. And if you go to the back view, it's kind of crazy that this quarterback doesn't even have to look off 17. I mean, he looks to the boundary the entire time, which tells you that we're not even paying attention to what the quarterback's looking at. Look right there. You can see him staring it down. Bang. 17 should just stay right there, and he's got an interception. I mean, the quarterback would never see him going, but because they've probably already done this so many times, it's just bad habit.
What's the answer? Is it just, good play call, or should you not?
No, scrap the defense unless people know how to play these routes.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't
scrap it. There's no pressure.
I'm not a big fan
There's no upside. Where's the upside? Where's the upside? Nope, there's 3 guys who aren't covered.
Or get somebody who's a ball hawk and have him sit in the middle.
I'm just saying, let's know where our landing spots are. Like, we can't have guys we can't just drop to spots.
I kind of put this on Taft. I mean,
and holds up our defense. I don't know. I never get pissed off watching film. Like, certain things I can watch stuff on film, and just like Georgia, I was like, you know what? They had a great offense. You never know what they're going to throw at you every play. But empty formation, I mean, this 7-on-7. You would never do this in 7-on-7. You never play zone like this and just let guys sit in your zone and drop to a spot. The goal is to not let complete passes happen. So, yeah, I mean, and I've been in defenses where we didn't play things well and we just scrapped it. Like, you got to scrap this. You can't put this on film and come back and try it again the next week with the same rules. You got to do something different.
Throw it out.
And A&M loves these quick end breakers.
I mean, everybody in America doesn't.
Yeah, it's college football loves quick end breakers.
Yeah.
All right, next play. Are you ready to love your kitchen and bathroom again? Luxe Kitchen and Bath will bring that to life. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring your dream vision to life. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team also provides full home remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today, or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get your free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's LUXE, or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Contact info is in the description. Second quarter, 2nd and 10, 10:38 on the clock. Ball's on Texas 42. You're going to see a tight end leak out here. He's going to block and stay in the core for longer than usual, even for a fake block. And then you'll see him skirt out. This back is going to come out on a swing, and you're going to see Colin Simmons drop like he has the flats. And you're going to see Trey Moore also follow this back. So we end up with 2 guys on a swing running back. And then this allows this tight end here to just go right, mosey right on up the middle. And then Jet's going to really break down what happens here. But I just want you guys to see. Pay attention to the tight end. He's going to start off blocking. Okay, he holds for a little while. It's pretty convincing. This back's going to break outside. Colin Simmons down here is being held. And that's why he's late to the flats. But Trey Moore is going to vacate the middle of the field right here. And like he's picking up this back. And then you're going to see the tight end at the last second, right in the middle of the field. You see him there? He's going to leak out. So we end up with 2 guys on a flat route to the back. Vacate the middle here. Boom. Easy, huge gain. So, Jet, you know the actual concept. What's going on here? Why do we have 2 guys on a running back and vacating the middle of the field?
Okay, so Colin is going to end up taking the running back because Trey is actually currently manned on him. And so if we're taught that if this running back gets outside the core of the formation, we're going to be out leveraged too bad, and that's why the edge is going to end up taking it. Well, if the edge ends up taking our man, then we have to add in through who is our new man. And so he shouldn't even be following the running back in the first place, like at all, because as soon I count this personally, like this formation, I'm expecting one tight end to slide back because I count that tight end that slides back. I call this I call it opposite of the running back. So I know one of them is going to move. So I know my 2 and 3 are about to switch pre-snap. So it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't understand why he's manning him this hard. He's just got to trust that guy does his job. So Collins should be taking the back, and he does take the back. Well, if you realize that tight end that moved over is going to cause a little confusion, and now he doesn't know where his man is, which is the blocking tight end. And that blocking tight end is his man. And essentially what he should be doing is running right through his face, because then he can't run for a route because he's more worried about you sacking his quarterback rather than trying to get open. I guarantee you he's taught to release super late. If there's nobody going, then he can release, but he's taught protection first as a tight end. So that's exactly why he's so late. He's like, oh my God, nobody's on me. I'm just going to run right now. So what actually here is like the people that were man on the running back and the tight end, their responsibility switched. Colin did his job correctly. And then we needed to stay on our new number 3, who's going to be that leaking out tight end. And he is going to be who we're supposed to be man on. And you can see if you go back to the original picture, once that tight end moves over to the opposite side of the formation, that is where the confusion happens. He actually moves to number 2. The tight end that was in line is the new number 3, which is very confusing for that inside linebacker. I don't know. It's up to just pay attention, I guess, but it is a little confusing. And that new one who's blocking is now going to be eligible up for the pick. And this is a 40 defense. So I think if I had to guess, so yeah.
And what's a 40 defense mean?
40 defense is just cover 4, and then you got 0 to the boundary or one side, whatever you choose, and 4 to the other. It's half man, half zone, essentially.
So Trey Moore they end up doubling the back. Trey Moore's in the wrong here, and then middle of the field, wide open. And these are things that other teams who are just playing A&M are going to see, and they're going to utilize. A&M's not as big with the tight ends, but man, this week of practice, I'm putting a lot of tight end stuff in because one of the big things that we've struggled with too, we can struggle on switch releases and stuff like that, but it's generally not receiver motion that kills us. It's motion coming from within the core, and that's what we seem to bust a lot. And this is another example of it.
That's just a lot of training your eyes and anticipation, I feel like, because that always helped me. Every time I see duck, or not duck, but 2 tight ends attached to the core like that, I'm always anticipating some type of extra protection, movement protection, whether it's a guard pulling or a tight end pulling or moving slide. You can run ram out of that, which is, inside or split zone, but with 2 tight ends. So one of them is going to be moving, and that's going to essentially change your number on who you have man. So that's why I always anticipated it.
You should smell something's up when you see that. Drew, any thoughts here, man?
I mean, you know how it is when your man comes across the formation and you know for a fact he's no longer your man, your eyes are supposed to get to your new man.
Exactly.
So as soon as the back comes across the formation, he shouldn't even know or have the ability to see that Colin Simmons may be tied up or that may not be even be in position to take that man. His eyes should immediately shoot to the tight end, to the new number 3, whoever that number 3 is. And you have 2 tight ends there that should be dragging your eyes there. You have 2 people. So you're focused on the one guy coming across the formation when you have 2 that are front side to the field that should have your attention. And he ultimately should be picking up number 3 based on just understanding of this coverage. So it is tricky with the eyes. Jack got on me last week when I was saying, it gets really confusing with Georgia when they're crossing over, the backs and the tight ends are crossing over. You can kind of hesitate, but it does get tricky with the eyes. My point here is you can literally just flush him from your brain as soon as he comes across the formation. And based on anything and everything you've seen on film, they're going to either zone read it or bring him across the formation. So you should have already repped as soon as if he goes out to the flats, he may be yours. Or even if he goes to the flats, number 3 is yours. As a matter of fact.
Literally.
So
yeah.
Well, I think too, like talking about, a defense is struggling, and this is a thing here too. He's not supposed to be doing this, but he is looking at Simmons. So he's wrong, but here he goes. He sees Simmons. Simmons is getting held. Like Simmons is trying to separate, and you see the jersey. So then I think he's trying to play hero ball of like, it's okay, Colin Simmons. I see you're not going to be able to get there. And then pick that up now, trying to be right while he's wrong. But Colin Simmons is so athletic, he just disengages right there. But it looks like he's trying to do Colin Simmons' job, maybe heroically at what he sees right here. But the defense is just kind of out of sorts, man.
What does Bill Belichick preach? He says, do your job.
Yeah. Well, Sark said it.
You won seven Super Bowls. Just do your job.
So Sark said it in his press conference this week. You just have guys that are not doing their job. They're trying to go make plays, and their eyes are absolutely just in the wrong place, and they're doing the wrong things. At the end of the day, if Colin Simmons is not in position to make his play, that's on Colin Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna get it in film study, but now you're gonna get it. All right, fellas, we only have one more game versus Texas A&M. I would be naive to say hope it all gets fixed. Probably won't, but let's mitigate some of these things because A&M's gonna have 11 games of let's attack the perimeter, let's attack over the field, and let's motion guys around the core because it seems to break the pass defense often. But let's be hopeful and beat A&M. This was the Rivalry Week takeover, and it was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have a great day, y'all. Goodbye.